Hi, and welcome back to English with Anna. Today, I'm going to teach you 50 everyday English phrases that you can use in formal or informal conversations. A conversation is typically between two people, so you want to make sure that you're asking or answering their questions while also giving them a chance to ask or answer your questions. Let's jump right into the 50 phrases. Let's first go over greeting someone or asking how they're doing. Hey, what's up? This is a pretty informal phrase, so I would avoid saying this to a boss, but saying this to your friends is totally okay. The next one is, how's it going? Again, pretty informal, but you're just asking how life is, how they're doing, what have they been up to? How have you been? This one is still informal, but you're just asking, still, what have they been up to? How are they doing? How have they been lately? How's everything going? Still informal, and everything just means life in general. How has work been going? How has school been going? How's everything going? How's life? Very informal. You can even say, how's life going? Just to know if they're doing good, doing bad, what have they been up to? What have you been up to lately? This is where you're asking more for specifics for a friend. This one is still informal, but if you're wanting to know if they've been going on a hike or if they wrote an essay, this is probably something where you'd want to know more details. How are you? This is the only formal response here out of these phrases, but you could ask this to your boss, to an acquaintance, a coworker, someone working at a grocery store, just simply saying, how are you? Now, to respond to these questions or say how you're doing, you can say, I'm doing well. This one can be both formal and informal, but if you say it in a formal situation or context, it'll be totally okay. So, I'm doing well just means I'm doing okay. You're not saying I'm doing amazing. You're not saying I'm doing bad. You're just well. You're doing good. I'm doing pretty good. This means you're doing good. Again, not bad. Um, Not amazing. It's also more informal than saying, I'm doing well. I'm doing awesome. This means you are feeling great. You're not feeling bad at all. Life's going pretty good. I've been better. This means you're not doing so well. Life hasn't been that great. You're not doing that awesome. I've been better. Not that good lately. This is when life has been pretty bad. I would expect someone else to ask what's been happening, so make sure to have a response to that question if you do say that phrase. Good, can't complain. I find myself saying this phrase all the time. Again, not doing great, not doing bad, but good, can't complain about anything going on in life. I'm well, thanks. How are you? This is the most formal out of all the options. Again, this is one you could say to a boss, someone working at a bank, someone at an airport, just a very formal conversation. To make small talk, you can say, what did you do last weekend? If you're asking this, you are asking for more details to enhance or further the conversation. Now, if you're at a cafe or a restaurant, you can talk about whatever you're eating or drinking. In this instance, we'll say pasta. This pasta is amazing. The person will most likely share comments about their food if it's good or maybe if it's bad. Are you doing anything this weekend? This is getting details about their future plans. And if they say, I'm not doing anything, and if the conversation's going well, you could even make plans for the future or that weekend. Nice day outside, huh? Adding huh at the end implies that they would agree that the weather's nice. Talking about the weather is a very common thing to do, especially if you can't think of something else to say. So if it's warm or hot or not windy outside, you can say, nice weather today, huh? Now, if it's cloudy, the weather is really bad, it's cold, it's snowing, you can say, the weather is pretty awful, isn't it? Isn't it, again, is very similar to saying, huh, at the end of a sentence. That's implying it is pretty bad, right? To show your gratitude or thanks, you can say, thanks a lot. It's very similar to saying, thank you so much or thank you very much. This definitely conveys how grateful or thankful you are. I really appreciate that. Or you can even say, I really appreciate it. This one I hear many people say all the time. I say it all the time, and it really expresses gratitude and thanks to the other person. If you're really thankful, you can say, thank you so much. Instead of just saying thank you, you're really expressing and saying, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Or you can even say, that's so kind of you. I say those interchangeably all the time. So that's so sweet of you to do that. That's so kind of you to help me with this. You can use those in so many different ways. You can also say, I'm so lucky. You could extend that phrase to say, I'm so lucky to have you in my life. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend. This is when someone's done a very generous offer or help for you. That's a great phrase to say. To respond to a thank you, you can say, you're welcome. It's very basic, it gets straight to the point, and this is something you'll hear all the time, but you can just simply say, you're welcome. You can also respond by saying, no worries. I catch myself saying this all the time. It's definitely not formal, but you're totally fine to say, no worries. You can also respond by saying, of course. It really implies, of course I'll help you. Of course I would do this for you. So instead of saying you're welcome, you can say, of course. Another one I say all the time is, no problem. It wasn't that big of a deal, no problem. Of course I'd help you out. To offer help, you can say, can I help you with that? If you see someone struggling or they drop something in a situation where they need help, you can just simply say, and this would be formal and informal, can I help you with that? Something that's more informal, but you still want to offer help, you say, can I give you a hand? Now, this doesn't literally mean take off and give your hand, but it means you're going to use your hands to help them. If you know someone might need help in the future, you can say, let me know if there's anything I can do. To accept help, you can say, sure, that would be great, thank you. This can go both ways with being formal or informal. If you drop the sure, that would make it more formal, saying, that would be great, thanks. But by saying sure, it makes it informal. You can also say, I'd really appreciate your help. This means you definitely need help and you would really appreciate it. Thanks for offering. I could use a hand. Just like the previous example with saying, can I give you a hand? You can say, I could use a hand, meaning I do need help. I need physical help using our hands. So you can just simply say, I could use a hand. To respond to good news, you can say, that's great. It's very simple, but you're showing your excitement for them. That's great. You can also say, good for you. That's awesome. This really shows your excitement for whoever you're talking to and to show that you're really excited for them. You can also say, I'm so excited for you. It means exactly that. It just shows you're really happy and excited for that person. If someone's telling you some good news that will happen in the future, so not what's happening right now, but in the future, say like a really fun trip, you can say, that'll be so much fun. To respond to bad news, you can say, I'm so sorry to hear that. It really shows that you feel terrible about whatever happened and that you are sorry. Even though it's not your fault, you're just saying, I'm so sorry to hear that. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. If you are willing and able to offer help if it's needed, this is a great phrase to say. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Another phrase which I find myself saying when I respond to bad news is, that must have been awful. If something's just really bad, really tragic, terrible news, you can say, that must have been awful. To ask for information, you can say, do you know? And this is kind of a lead up question. Do you know where the library is? Do you know when the grocery store opens? You can start so many questions just by saying that phrase. You can also say, where might the museum be? Where might the bookstore be? This is generally asking for directions. Also saying where might is a very formal phrase. I haven't said it too often, but if I'm exploring a new city and I don't know where something is and my GPS isn't working, I can ask someone on the street, where might the nearest grocery store be? If you know this person fairly well and the conversation is going pretty good and you want to make plans for the future, you can say, would you want to grab a coffee sometime? You can replace coffee with tea or going to a cafe, but saying, would you want to grab a coffee sometime is very casual, but you're showing your intention to want to meet up again in the future. If you're pretty close friends, you can say, let's meet up for lunch this week. You're showing your intention and desire to want to further the connection with them and make plans. You're saying, let's meet up for lunch this week. Again, you can say any plan. Um, let's go check out this new museum. Let's go check out this garden. You can replace lunch with so many different things. You can also say, do you want to go for a hike this weekend? This is showing plans sooner in the future. So this weekend, that could be a couple days away. You can also replace hike with anything, just like the previous example. So, do you want to check out this bookstore this weekend? Do you want to go swimming this weekend? Do you want to try out a yoga class this weekend? Just something to connect with that person. You're more likely going to get a yes from them to those plans if it's something you know they're interested in. So, think about something you would both be interested in doing that weekend. To end a conversation or say bye, you can say, it was nice talking to you. I would recommend saying this, especially if you did enjoy the conversation, but just by saying, it was nice talking to you, um, it's a good signal that the conversation is ending soon. You might have to go. So that's a good phrase. Another one I say all the time is take care. And I can also add on at the end, take care, see you later. Um, you're telling them to take care. You're hoping they do well. And by saying see you later, you hope to see them soon. Sometimes when I don't know how to end a conversation and maybe I don't know them as well, I'll say, I'd better let you go. You don't know their plans and you just want the conversation to end, so you end up just saying, I'd better let you go. Another one I say all the time is, have a good one. You hope they're going to do well, they have a great day, a great week, a great month until you see them next time, but you just say, have a good one. That's all for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed learning about 50 everyday English phrases that you can use in formal and informal conversations. If you'd like to connect with me, I'm pretty active on Instagram and TikTok. On there, I post mini English lessons, connect with students, and you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of my daily life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.